Namaskar. The topic of today's lecture is volcanoes. The word volcano, from the Roman god of fire, has two meanings. Number one, the opening in the ground out of which hot molten rock, that is lava or magma, and or volcanic gas issues from the earth's interior onto the surface. Number two, the hill or mountain built around such an opening by the accumulation of cooled magma. While millions of years are needed for natural forces to build mountain ranges and erode canyons, an erupting volcano can build or destroy large, sometimes massive structures in a matter of minutes or days. A volcano is a place where molten rock, pieces of solid rock, hot gases formed inside the earth erupt through its surface. A volcano is said to be in eruption when it actually pours out lava and other volcanic material. Volcanic activity is the most dramatic and rapid of all geological processes that shape the surface of the earth. For example, on May 18, 1980, the eruption of Mount St. Helens in northwestern United States destroyed much of the mountain and killed about 60 people. The Earth's interior, below the thin crust, was once thought to be entirely molten. It is now known that most of the Earth is solid rock and that only part of the central core is liquid. Most magma come from pockets in the upper mantle, which is thick, normally solid layer between the crust and the core. For example, the material erupted from Hawaii's volcanoes is from a depth of about 65 kilometers. Now let us see how volcanoes are formed. The Earth's interior is very hot and the heat left over from its formation continuously escapes towards the surface. The escape of this heat, combined with the heat released by decaying radioactive elements in the interior, provides the energy for volcanic activity. As the heat rises, it warms rocks in the Earth's interior, and this heated rock begins rising slowly towards the surface. Much of this molten rock or magma gradually cools within the Earth. Sometimes, however, magma continues to push upward. When gas-filled magma rises from the Earth's interior, it collects in large pools called magma chambers, located several kilometers below the surface. While heat is what causes magma to rise to the surface, escaping gases provide the driving force for volcanic eruptions. The most common volcanic gas is steam. This is formed when water from within the earth or rainwater soaking into the ground is absorbed by magma and then heated. Volcanic activity begins when a fissure or crack develops in the crust as magma is forced towards the surface. The gas-rich magma rises from the magma chamber, travels through a circular pipe and reaches the surface at a vent. When the magma reaches the surface, it spews out of vents or openings at the top of magma conduits. Magma that erupts from a vent is known as lava. Lava and other material such as ash and rock fragments ultimately build up to form a volcanic cone. Located at the summit of many steep-walled volcanoes is a depression called a crater. Lava may collect in a crater, a bowl-shaped area around a volcano's central vent. The area covered by lava as it pours out of a vent is called a lava flow. As magma rises towards the surface, the pressure decreases and the dissolved gases begin to expand and exert an enormous force. When a volcano erupts, the force of the expanding gases pushes magma from the magma chamber through the pipe until it flows or explodes out of the vent. Among the products of volcanic eruptions, lava alone is poured out in liquid state. It comes out of the crater and flows down along the slopes of the volcanic cone. In case of explosive volcanoes, lava is poured out through the cracks and fissures occurring around the crater. At the time of its emergence, lava remains extremely hot and on exposure to atmosphere, it gradually cools down and solidifies. Once magma forms, it rises towards the Earth's surface because it is less dense than the surrounding rock. As magma rises, two changes occur. Number one, it cools as it enters shallower and cooler levels of the earth. Number two, pressure drops because the weight of the overlying rock decreases. When first erupted from a volcanic vent, lava is liquid at temperatures ranging from 700 to 1200 degrees centigrade. Lava may be up to 100,000 times as viscous as water, and it can flow to great distances before cooling and solidifying. The most important factor in determining the shape or type of a volcano is the viscosity of the magma that builds the volcano. The primary control on magma's viscosity is its concentration of silica molecules. A typical basaltic magma, which comes from partial melting of the mantle beneath oceanic crust or mantle beneath continental crust, has a silica concentration of about 50%. In contrast, rhyolitic magmas, which are generated by partial melting within continental crust, have silica concentrations of about 70%. Granitic magmas generally contain up to 10% water, whereas basaltic magmas contain only 1 to 2% water. Basaltic magma commonly rises to the surface to erupt from a volcano. In contrast, granitic magma usually solidifies within the crust. The difference in viscosities of the magma determine both the shape and explosivity of the volcanoes that they form. Besides silica content, the gas content of the magma has a significant influence on the eruption of magma. The most abundant gas dissolved in magma is water, but magma also contains carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and other gases. These gases help lower the viscosity of the magma and allow it to migrate more easily towards the surface. The material erupted from volcanoes creates a wide variety of rocks and landforms, including lava plateaus and several types of volcanoes. Many islands, including the Hawaiian Islands, Iceland, and most of the islands of southwestern Pacific Ocean, were built entirely by volcanic eruptions. When it has stopped moving, lava solidifies to form igneous rocks. Now let us understand the types of rocks resulting from the solidification of magma. Igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, which form from lava flows when erupted, can be classified into 4 types based on their chemical composition, namely felsic, intermediate, mafic, and ultramafic rocks. Number 1, felsic lava or silicic lavas are extremely viscous and typically fragment as they extrude. The high viscosity and strength are the result of high silica, aluminum, potassium, sodium, and calcium, forming a liquid rich in feldspar and quartz minerals. Felsic magmas can erupt at temperatures as low as 650 to 750 degrees centigrade and form volcanic rocks such as rhyolite and dacite. Number 2, intermediate or andesitic lavas are lower in aluminum and silica and usually somewhat richer in magnesium and iron. They are commonly hotter in the range of 750 to 950 degrees centigrade. They tend to be less viscous than felsic lavas. Number 3, mafic or basaltic lavas typically have a high ferromagnesium content and generally erupt at temperatures in excesses of 950 degrees centigrade. They are high in iron and magnesium and have relatively low aluminum and silica. Owing to the high temperatures, viscosities can be relatively low. Ultramafic lavas are high magnesium magmas with low silica contents that form komatiite rocks. Komatiites contain over 18% magnesium oxide and are thought to have erupted at temperatures of 1600 degrees centigrade. Now let us look at the forms of lava. Lava with low viscosity may continue to flow as it cools and stiffens, forming smooth, glassy surfaced, wrinkled or ropey ridges. This type of lava is called pahoehoe lava. If the viscosity of lava is higher, its surface may partially solidify as it flows. The solid crust breaks up as the deeper molten lava continues to move, forming aha lava with a jagged, rubbly, broken surface. When lava cools, escaping gases such as water and carbon dioxide form bubbles in the lava. If this lava solidifies before the gas escapes, The bubbles are preserved as holes called vesicles. Hot lava shrinks as it cools and solidifies. The shrinkage pulls the rocks apart, forming cracks that grow as the rock continues to cool. As the lava continues to cool and solidify, the cracks grow downward through the flow. Such cracks, called columnar joints, are regularly spaced and intersect to form 5 or 6-sided columns. When basaltic magma erupts underwater, the rapid cooling causes it to contract into pillow-shaped structures called pillow lava. Pillow lava is abundant in oceanic crust. Now we come to the volcanic products. Volcanic products may be either liquid in the form of lava, solid products in the form of pyroclast, or gas. Liquid lava can be low in viscosity if it is basalt, or high in viscosity if it is rhyolite. Pyroclasts are rock fragments ejected from volcanoes that may range in size between wide limits. Depending on the size of the individual fragments, pyroclastic material are classified as: number 1, bombs or blocks if they are greater than 32 mm in diameter. Number 2, cinders or lapilli if the diameter is between 4 to 32 millimeters. Number 3, ash with diameter between 0.25 and 4 millimeter. And number 4, fine ash if they are less than 0.25 millimeter diameter. Pyroclastic material ejected by volcanoes mostly drop down around the volcanic vent, but the ash and fine ash materials are removed to considerable distances by the blowing wind. The pyroclastic material collected around volcanic pipes may be subjected to compaction later. The ash and fine ash are referred to as tuff, while the other pyroclastic material of larger size are referred to as volcanic breccia. Gases. Gas can be toxic or can be the driving force for explosive volcanic eruptions. Now let us look at the types of volcanoes. Volcanoes can be classified based on the dominant material being erupted. The various types of volcanoes are shield volcanoes, composite or stratovolcanoes, cinder cone volcanoes, flood basalts, and calderas. Number 1, shield volcanoes. Shield volcanoes have low viscosity basaltic magmas that can flow long distances on a landscape before they solidify and therefore give rise to volcanoes with very low slopes. Shield volcanoes can be very big. An example is Mount Etna in Sicily and Mauna Loa in Hawaiian Islands. Beneath the ocean, basaltic volcanism build shield volcanoes or sheets of basaltic rocks. Gases escape easily from these hot low viscosity magmas and the eruption hazard and ash output is thus very low. Number 2, composite or stratovolcanoes have higher viscosity magmas built with steep sides since their extrusions solidify quickly once they reach the surface and move away from their central vent. The layers of lava and pyroclastic material ejected from such volcanoes form layers and slope down in all directions away from the vent. Such volcanoes have high explosive hazard. Example are Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines and Mount St. Helens in Washington State, USA. Number 2, cinder volcanoes. Cinder cone volcanoes are cone-shaped volcanoes whose steep sides are formed by loose, fragmented cinders that fall to the earth close to the vent. The lava flows through a single vent that is usually only up to about 1000 feet tall. There is usually a bowl-shaped crater at the top. As the gas-filled lava erupts into the air, the lava fragments into pieces and forms cinders. Example is the Springsville, Arizona, USA. Flood-type plateau basalts have lava that is very low in viscosity and it flows easily over huge areas. Such lava flow from long fissures creates a high plateau area made up entirely of basaltic lava, little pyroclasts and gas. Examples are the Columbia River flood basalts and the Deccan basalts of India. Number 4, calderas are large depressions in the ground caused by eruption of large volumes of magma. The roof of chamber collapses, causing the ground to subside, many tens of miles across and thousands of feet deep. The examples are the Yellowstone National Park and Lake Taupo in New Zealand. Based on their activity, the following volcanic types can be distinguished. Number 1. Active volcano is either erupting now or there is a historical record of it erupting in the past. Example, Mount Vesuvius in Italy. Number 2. Dormant volcano is the most dangerous type of volcano. There is no record of recent activity, but the volcano looks fresh and may show some signs of thermal activity. Example is Mount Shasta in California. Number 3. Extinct volcano which shows no signs of thermal activity. Example is the Barren Islands in the Bay of Bengal. Now let us understand the features of volcanic eruptions. There are different mechanisms by which volcanic eruptions can occur. They are: number 1. Magmatic eruptions, which involve the decompression of gas within magma that propels it forward. Number 2. Phreatomagmatic eruptions are another type of volcanic eruption driven by the compression of gas within magma, the direct opposite of the process powering magmatic activity. And number 3. Phreatic eruption driven by the superheating of steam that comes in contact with the magma. Now let us understand the types of volcanic eruptions. Several types of volcanic eruptions have been distinguished. They are named after the famous volcanoes where particular type of behavior has been observed. They are Hawaiian eruption, Strombolian eruption, Peleian eruption, and Plinian eruption. Some volcanoes may exhibit only one characteristic of eruption during a period of activity, while others may display an entire sequence of types. Now let us look at the features of the different types of volcanic eruptions. Number 1. Hawaiian eruption. The following diagram shows the parts of a Hawaiian type of volcano. Hawaiian eruptions are named after the Hawaiian volcanoes. Hawaiian eruptions are the calmest types of volcanic events characterized by the effusive eruption of very fluid basalt type lavas with low gaseous content. The volume of ejected material from Hawaiian eruptions is less than half of that found in other eruptive types. Steady production of small amounts of lava builds up the large, broad form of a shield volcano. Hawaiian eruptions are not centralized at the main summit as with other volcanic types, and often occur at the vents around the summit and from the fissure vents radiating out of the center. The flows from Hawaiian eruptions are basaltic. The particles from lava fountains usually cool in the air before hitting the ground, resulting in the accumulation of cindery fragments. Formation of lava can be shot up to 1000 feet or more by jets of gas. The lava forms flat lava domes, creating some of the largest mountains on the earth. Hawaiian eruptions are often extremely long-lived. Number 2. The Strombolian eruption. The following diagram shows the parts of a Strombolian type of volcano. Strombolian eruptions are a type of volcanic eruption named after the volcano Stromboli, which has been erupting continuously for centuries. Strombolian eruptions are driven by the bursting of gas bubbles within the magma. These gas bubbles within the magma accumulate and coalesce into large bubbles called gas slugs, which grow large enough to rise through the lava column. Upon reaching the surface, the difference in air pressure causes the bubble to burst with a loud pop, throwing magma in the air. Because of the high gas pressures associated with the lavas, continued activity is generally in the form of episodic explosive eruptions accompanied by the distinctive loud blasts. During eruptions, these blasts occur as often as every few minutes. Strombolian eruptions are characterized by short-lived and explosive eruptions of lavas with intermediate viscosity, often ejected high into the air. The lavas formed by Strombolian eruptions are a form of relatively viscous basaltic lava. The relative passivity of Strombolian eruptions and its non-damaging nature to its source vent allow Strombolian eruptions to continue unabated for thousands of years and also makes it one of the least dangerous eruptive volcanoes. Strombolian eruptions eject volcanic bombs and lapilli fragments that travel in parabolic paths before landing around their source vent. The steady accumulation of small fragments builds cinder cones composed completely of basaltic pyroclasts. Strombolian eruptions are noisier than Hawaiian eruptions but do not produce some volcanic products associated with Hawaiian volcanism and produce fewer molten lava flows. Volcanoes known to have Strombolian activity include Mount Etna in Italy, Mount Erebus in Antarctica, and Stromboli itself. Number 3. Vulcanian eruption. The following diagram shows the parts of a Vulcanian type of volcano. Vulcanian eruptions are a type of volcanic eruption named after the volcano Vulcano, which also gives its name to the word volcano. In Vulcanian eruptions, highly viscous magma within the volcano make it difficult for vesiculate gases to escape, and like the Strombolian eruptions, this leads to the buildup of high gas pressure, eventually popping the cap holding the magma down and resulting in an explosive eruption. However, unlike Strombolian eruptions, ejected lava fragments are not aerodynamic due to the higher viscosity of the Vulcanian magma and the greater incorporation of crystalline material broken off from the former cap. They are also more explosive than their Strombolian counterparts, with eruptive columns often reaching between 5 and 10 km high. Vulcanian deposits are andesitic to dacitic rather than basaltic. Initial Vulcanian activity is characterized by a series of short-lived explosions lasting a few minutes to a few hours and typified by the ejection of volcanic bombs and blocks. These eruptions wear down the lava dome, holding the magma down, and it disintegrates, leading to much more quiet and continuous eruptions. Thus, an early sign of future Vulcanian activity is lava dome growth, and its collapse generates an outpouring of pyroclastic material down the volcano's slope. Deposits near the source vent consist of large volcanic blocks and bombs. However, the bulk of the Vulcanian deposits are fine-grained ash. Volcanoes that have exhibited Vulcanian activity include Sakurajima in Japan, which has been the site of Vulcanian activity near continuously since 1955. The Irazu volcano in Costa Rica exhibit Vulcanian activity in its 1965 eruption. We go to the next type of eruption, namely the Peleian type. The following diagram shows the parts of a Peleian type of volcano. Peleian eruptions are a type of volcanic eruption named after the volcano Mount Pelée in Martinique, the site of massive Peleian eruption in 1902 that is one of the worst natural disasters in history. In Peleian eruptions, a large amount of gas, dust, ash and lava fragments are blown out of the volcano's central crater. An early sign of an upcoming eruption is the growth of a so-called Peleian or lava spine, which is a bulge in the volcano summit preempting its total collapse. The material collapses upon itself, forming a fast-moving pyroclastic flow known as block and ash flow that moves down the side of the mountain at tremendous speeds, often over 150 km per hour. These massive landslides make Peleian eruptions one of the most dangerous in the world, capable of tearing through polluted areas and causing massive loss of life. The 1902 eruption of Mount Pelée caused tremendous destruction, killing more than 30,000 people and completely destroying the towns of Saint-Pierre, the worst volcanic activity in the 20th century. Peleian eruptions are characterized most prominently by the incandescent pyroclastic flows that they drive. The mechanics of a Peleian eruption are very similar to that of a Vulcanian eruption, except that in the Peleian eruption, the volcano's structure is able to withstand more pressure, and hence the eruption occurs as one large explosion rather than several small ones. Volcanoes known to have Peleian activity include the Mount Pelée, Martinique and Mayen volcano. The 1951 Pelian eruption of Mount Lamington. The next type is the Plinian type of eruption. The following diagram shows the parts of the Plinian type of volcano. Plinian eruptions or Vesuvian are a type of volcanic eruption named after the historical 79 AD eruption of Mount Vesuvius that buried the Roman towns of Pompeii and Herculaneum. Massive eruptive columns are the distinctive features of a Plinian eruption and reach up to 2 to 45 kilometers into the atmosphere. These highly explosive eruptions are associated with volatile rich dacitic to rhyolitic lavas and occur most typically at stratovolcanoes. Eruptions can last anywhere from hours to days, with longer eruptions being associated with more felsic volcanoes. Plinian eruptions can just as well occur as basaltic volcanoes. Plinian eruptions and Strombolian eruptions, except that rather than creating discrete explosive events, Plinian eruptions form sustained eruptive columns. They are also similar to Hawaiian lava fountains in that both eruptive types produce sustained eruption columns maintained by the growth of bubbles that move up at about the same speed as the magma surrounding them. Regions affected by Plinian eruptions are subjected to heavy pumice airfall affecting an area of 0.5 to 50 cubic kilometer. The material in the ash plume eventually finds its way back to the ground, covering the landscape in a thick layer of many cubic kilometers of ash. The major Plinian eruptive volcanoes include the historical 79 AD eruption of Mount Vesuvius, which buried the Roman towns of Pompeii and Herculaneum under a layer of ash and tephra, and the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens in Washington.